Good morning, everybody, and happy Awoken Wednesday. We are back with another little one of these morning check-ins, morning episodes. I liked the one last week. You can meet some new people, wish everyone a good day. So this week we are here outside of the United States Capitol building. This is where the 535 elected members of Congress, of the United States Congress, will gather and conduct their business. This is where they hold votes, committee hearings, meet with constituents, meet with other people, wink wink, and push for legislation to supposedly help the American people. So over here you have the U.S. Senate, the official U.S. Senate building, where the 100 senators, 2 from each state, since there's 50 states, you have 100 senators, where they will meet and conduct their official business on the Senate floor. Then over here you have the U.S. House of Representatives, where the 435 elected voting members of the House will gather. I believe there's 5 or 6 additional elected non-voting members, including the representative from the District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, and those other territories. They all have a non-voting member. But it's a very good morning. Well, I shouldn't say very good morning. I think it's under 20 degrees here in our nation's capital. And behind me, here's this. So we'll start walking over here. You have the Supreme Court building, where you have the 9 justices not elected by the people, but they're proposed in the Senate. They're selected by the president, and then the U.S. Senate will hold a vote on if they're going to be sworn in or if they're going to be confirmed by the Senate. Most of the time they do make it. We've seen in the last couple, the president that selected the member has been in the same party with the majority party in the Senate, so there hasn't been a huge risk of members failing or judges that have been selected not making it. And then right over here you have one of the Library of Congress buildings. There's actually 3 of them. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Maybe I believe there's a Jefferson library, and there's an Adams library, and then there's a 3rd one. Then here, let's go over here. I'll show you guys something else. So if you can see the building behind that clock light looking thing, those are the House office buildings. Yeah, I had to pause my run there. But you have it's Longworth, Cannon, and Rayburn. And that's where the members of the House will meet with constituents. That's where their staffs are. So the staffs will help the member go through legislation or other matters, advise them on committee hearings, etc. Here, yeah, let's get a little closer. Yeah, I mentioned that's the U.S. House of Representatives right there. So if you watch CNN or Fox or something like that, and the reporter will interview them while they're coming out, that's where it usually is, are these steps. And same with the Senate over there. So yeah, there's these 3 House office buildings I mentioned, And there's a cafeteria. There's a big old cafeteria inside of the house one. There's, I believe, a library on each side. Check, yeah, I'm going to see if I can get a better view of this. But good morning, everybody. Very nice to see everybody on this Awoken Wednesday. Just want to give you a reminder if it's your first time checking in. Oh, thank you, James. Cutie. That's very kind of you. I appreciate the compliment. It would be very cute if you subscribe to the channel so we can continue this internet relationship. Hello, Wrestling Queen 2011. What's up? How are you? I'm doing great. It's a great day to be alive. We're happy to be here. And we have Liliana Carmona 7870. Hello. And Elverjack 3250. Hello, nice man. Yeah, it's very nice to meet you all. Happy Awoken Wednesday. We have a big show tonight, bringing on a great friend of the show, Carrie Marbutt, to talk about agriculture policy. El Faraya. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I feel like a goofball right now. Delcy Lopez 3073. I was married to a Bonilla in the past. Nice. James. And then, yeah, oh, wow. So, okay, so maybe you guys were in-laws or something at one point. Or something like that. That would be pretty crazy. Let's see what else we got here. So yeah, we're just doing a little walk around the U.S. Capitol this morning. I'm going to get us a little closer to let's go to the Supreme Court, shall we? Oh. So do you guys have a big day planned ahead? Or anything like that? So Mr. Lopez, I'm in Washington, D.C. This is one of the Library of Congress buildings. I'm just on a little walk this morning. I went on a run earlier, went on a 5-mile run, and just wanted to stop by the Capitol, say hello to some people, and see how everyone's doing this morning. I'm going to walk. So behind this bus is the Supreme Court building, and we're going to walk up there. There was I'm not sure how much you guys follow politics, but last week there was a big case on, I believe, transgender women playing in transgender sports or something like that, and it got a lot of media attention, and it got a lot of protests and people coming out to support it, people against it. So I'll give you guys a behind the scenes look at it once we get a little closer. And thank you again to Douglas Payne for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you, Douglas. Glad you have joined the Awoken. That's what I'm calling my fans on this page, the Awoken. But okay. Day out here in Washington, D.C., the United States. It is Wednesday already. There wasn't any work the last couple days. Or on Monday, I should say, excuse me, because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So yeah, here's the Supreme Court building over here. So Ron John Modoc S4E This is the Supreme Court of the United States. Look here. Looks like there's even some reporters right outside of it. Let's check out what's going on. So yeah, there must be something big going on at the Supreme Court today. Yeah, as I mentioned last week, there was the transgender case, but I think that's done, or at least paused for now. At Rita Bolex Foldy 3252. Don't know why we. Oh no, so sorry about that, Rita. I call the Awoken like awoken up, like wake up, not woke. But there are woke people for sure. But people that follow me are not. They're the Awoken. So here we have a lady over here that her sign says, "Keep his tiny hands off the Federal Reserve." So maybe today's. Oh, so here's a member of Congress, Congressman Al Green of Texas. Remember, he got tossed from the State of the Union earlier this year. Here he is. It looks like he's going to be giving some remarks here in a moment. Yeah, there's probably maybe 35 to 40 people here. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Yeah, we're just going to stay here a minute, but we'll stay here for a couple minutes now.
Yeah. Lifesaver.
Oh, I didn't see that. Thank you.
Here, let's see if there's any other members here. I wish I could get this out of the way. Oh, and this is Congresswoman Maxine Waters of California as well. So we have at least 2 members of Congress out here this morning giving remarks about something going on. About 1 minute.
Anybody cold? Or just think, the sun is shining. Isn't that wonderful? Very good. So I'm so pleased that you're all here. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for being here. This is a very important moment. Today we're witnessing something dangerous and unprecedented and an all-out assault led by Donald Trump and his administration. Since his return to the White House, Trump has been turning into the administration of massively sought to control the Fed with his insults, threats, determination, and weaponizing government against hardworking public servants. Like Governor Lisa Brooks. Let me just say that again. Governor Lisa Brooks. Well, I want you to know it's crashing unconstitutionally firearms. Last week, their efforts escalated, and the Department of Justice initiated a base criminal investigation of Chair Jerome Powell. Make no mistake, this is about power and control. Donald Trump wants to control the Federal Reserve so that he can manipulate interest rates, interfere with markets, and use our independent government agencies to advance his own agenda. He wants the central bank that answers only to him. He believes he wants that. He wants the central bank to not be independent, to only answer to him. And he not only does that, he does not want to follow the law. And he wants to just not have to deal with serving the public interest. I hope that the Supreme Court considers the facts and arguments into those hearings and sends a clear message to Trump that this country is governed by laws, not by one man's fragile ego. The Fed does not belong to Donald Trump. It belongs to the American people. And here today, we stand with highly qualified Federal Reserve Governor Dr. Cook, who is the first black woman to serve on the Board of Governors, who has been unfairly targeted for her public service. No one should be surprised. This is causing Trump to go after yet another black woman who refuses to bow to him. But we're also here to defend the integrity and the independence of our central bank. One of the very reasons the United States has remained strong because of the central bank. One of the very reasons the United States has not only remained strong and stable, but resilient to economic crisis and war. The United States economy has been the strength of the world for so long. We're here to push back against a wannabe authoritarian regime so we can preserve and maintain our democracy. We will not just hand over our central bank and our future prosperity to this tyrannical administration. We won't do it without a fight. When you undermine the Federal Reserve's independence, then we'll find time to stay in the next home. We will start with time to grow, the work time to grow. And community already struggling to make things good. That's why we have to that's why we will continue to fight loudly and unapologetically on the ground, through the halls of Congress, and in the courts to protect the independence of the Federal Reserve and the economic of this economy. Thank you. And we have the members of our committee, the Financial Services Committee, who are here today to stand with Lisa Cook, and we will be there to hear from them.
My name is Juan Vargas. I represent the 52nd Congressional District in California, and I'm also the ranking member of the task force on monetary policy. I want to begin by thanking our leader, Congresswoman Waters. Thank you for being so strong on this sensitive back. Thank you. We're here today because Trump has launched an unprecedented attack on the independence of the Federal Reserve. Trump wants the Federal Reserve to bend the knee to him. He wants the Federal Reserve that does what's best for him, not what is best for our economy. And since hasn't happened, Trump is out for revenge. He has taken an absolute unprecedented step trying to remove Federal Reserve Board Governor Dr. Lisa Cook. And as DOJ has threatened Chairman Jerome Powell with a criminal indictment. But let me be clear. This isn't just about the Federal Reserve. This is about Trump's quest for unchecked power and his continued weaponization of government. He wants total control. He wants to punish anyone who stands in his way. That's what he's trying to do to Dr. Cook. But we're here today to stand against this over-289 that we won't be intimidated, that he's not a dictator, and we're not afraid. Now we're looking to the Supreme Court to do their job and to make it clear that Trump cannot seize control of the Fed. We are doing our job. They have to do their job. They have to do it strongly and let Trump know that he is not a king, he is not a dictator. That again, I thank all of you.
Good morning. Sean Caston from Illinois. We should not be in today. We should not be in the number one. We should put the number one. She never should have been charged. She never should have gotten. The Fed is an independent agency. There is no reason to go after the Fed as an independent agency. The court should have thrown that out on its head. I'm cautiously optimistic that the Supreme Court understands both of those issues and will rule the right way. But there is a third bigger reason as we approach our 250th birthday as a country, we are blessed and fortunate to live in a country that has over the course of our history, Congress has deemed more wisdom that there are some agencies that should be independent of Congress, not just the Federal Reserve, but the decisions that be separated from short-term policies. That's true for the Federal Reserve. It's true for the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. It's true for the Consumer Financial Protection Board. It's true for the National Labor Relations Board. I could go on down the list. There has never been in our history any question about whether the Constitution affords Congress that power. There's never been any change in the law that changes that question. The only thing that has changed is the makeup of the Supreme Court. And we are here today because the Supreme Court no longer defends the separation of powers, no longer defends the open authority. The Supreme Court has this idea that they're called the unitary executive. That sounds like a lot of fancy speak. That is code for we like kings. We believe that the executive should have the power to do whatever they want, regardless of what the country is. We don't think these other agencies can be independent, but we want to provide a carve-out to the Fed, and we're only going to allow that carve-out, maybe if there's cause you can fire somebody. Donald Trump, for all his faults, understands that that lacks some cause. And so he has decided to challenge this court and say, are you going to defend your weak logic?
God, and I'm like, I
Are
think
you
God,
going
I'm
to
like,
stand up to
so I'm
me?
like,
And it is reasonable for him to think he might be able to hold in this solution. But the Supreme Court, the Roberts Court, made today happen. And I am less optimistic that this court will put the Constitution above their own narrow politics. Just because they wear robes does not make them political actors. And I think we'll be watching for the court soon to see what the does the court correct the mistakes that were made over the last year to give us something to be proud of prior to the That's mistakes. Grateful to be here. It's pleasure for the last this year. I do not see here yet, so I will turn over to my friend Al Green.
Wait, Al Green's about to speak. We'll stay for Al. Congressman Al Green of Texas.
As we stand here today, in the shadow of the Supreme Court of the United States of America, of justice the world over? Or will it allow Donald Trump, President of the United States, to take control now of the Fed? He already has control of the pusillanimous politicians who call themselves Republicans in the House of Representatives.
Well, come on.
He already has control of persons who have influence. The question is, will he now get control of the Fed? The Fed is the body that has to have the independence to make policies that deal with the economic reform. We want price stability. We want to make sure we have full employment. The Fed does that. Put that in the hands
Touch that button, it'll go off.
Brexit ball administration, and then we're going to find out whether we're going to become Turkey or whether we'll remain the United States of America. Because Turkey pursued the same path that Trump is pursuing. And they had inflation rates that were off the
Should be still in the 90s, upper 90s.
They asked this Supreme Court to do the right thing. More important than the right thing, do the righteous thing. And make sure Donald Trump does not gain control of the Fed. Remain the symbol of justice the world over. Mr. Roberts, this is your opportunity. This is a seminal moment in time that can impact the rest of time, and in fact, will impact democracy in the United States of America. We see what this president is doing. We must now take him on here at the Supreme Court, and I'm honored that the Honorable Maxine Waters has afforded us this opportunity to stand and fight. This is the resistance right here in front of the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Democracy is at risk. I thank you.
So we saw a pretty fiery speech from the congressman from Texas right there, Representative Al Green. So it seems like the big thing that Congresswoman Maxine Waters and the other members on that committee were discussing is their concerns with the President Trump's ability to remove Lisa Cook from the Fed. The three or four members of Congress we heard all referenced that the Fed should be an independent institution outside of the executive branch. We also saw that, and that's your government in action. Who gotta get out of the way for these cars. But no, we saw, you got a little sneak peek on how your capital city operates. You just heard from four elected members of the United States Congress discuss their concerns with an action that the executive branch is trying to take. What do we have in America? You have the executive branch, which is made up of the president, the vice president, and the cabinet. You have the legislative branch, which is comprised of members such as those four members that you just saw. 435 voting members of the House and 100 senators. They are there to pass the laws. They can amend laws. They send laws to the president, and the president can veto or sign the law if passed by both houses. And they were standing outside of the third branch of government, the judicial branch, made up of not only the on the federal level, it's the 9 Supreme Court justices, but you have appellate courts, you have a whole lot of other courts in the country, federal, district, state level courts. All states have their own Supreme Courts, stuff like that. So that's how our government is made up. And you just saw a handful of members of the House of Representatives voice their concerns and discomfort with what the executive branch is doing. That's how the system is supposed to work. All 435 House members, they're due up for re-election every 2 years, so they all have to run again in November. And the 100 senators, they're spread out among 6-year terms. So a third of them will be up this November, the next third will be up the 28 presidential election, and then that next third will be due up in 2030. So once you get in, you get you get to be a little comfy in the Senate. So here is the Senate House, the Senate Hart building. That's where it's one of the office buildings for the senators, where they will meet constituents, meet with other groups, and conduct other business. So here we got here. Yeah, it's closed, see? Looks like there's a big day at the Supreme Court going on. Yeah. Got a couple goofballs made the wrong turn. So I just wanted to get with you guys some little content and a little behind the scenes action of how your Congress works and how this capital city really operates. So I'm walking home right now, but if you have any questions for the next few minutes, I can take questions. And please, just wanting to send out a reminder, please consider subscribing to the channel so I can provide you more content like this and give you more behind the scenes look. Please leave the video a like and leave a comment if you like what I'm doing. And a big reminder is that tonight is Awoken Wednesday, and we have our guest on Carrie, and we're going to do a deep dive into the agriculture space, on how the agriculture industry actually operates in the United States and really around the world even, because it's not just, right, we have allies, we have adversaries that kind of muck things up at times. So yeah, I'm wishing every one of you guys a wonderful day, and hopefully I'll see you all tonight on Awoken Wednesdays. But if anyone, I'll stay on for another minute or so. If anyone else has any questions, I would love to hear from you. It's cold out, guys. It is. From last week, it was like in the 40s. Okay, the at King of the Earth 2149. The question asked, is the Supreme Court being negligent? They've been negligent for over a century. The moment they defended the government from the people, they became traitors. Yeah, and I wanted to get a poll out, a little poll, and it seems like 77% of you guys, 115 people have voted in it, and 77% of you guys believe the Supreme Court is being negligent. And I think that it might not be, if you polled the entire country, it may not be, now it's 78%, 116th person voted. But if you polled the country, a lot of people are losing faith in that institution, particularly over the last decade, it seems a lot. And it's supposed to not be political but I think more people think it's probably political than it ever has been before as well, because they saw what happened when when the senators started voting among party lines for the most part. Here, I want to beat this truck. But when the senators and the judges that were nominated seemed to be more and more perceived as partisan, that really started to hurt the court, I think. So now, King of the Earth, if you're still here, could you, just for the chat, could you leave that specific case you're mentioning? So I might recognize it, or maybe I can look into it and we can do another video responding to the question. At Daywood Amy F6L, a Supreme Court represents the Supreme Leader, and we don't have one yet. Yeah, like, I'm not sure if I would agree with that 1000%, because the reason we don't have a supreme leader type figure or a king type figure in America is because it's we the people. First three words in the Constitution is that we the people are the supreme leader of the country, and we get to decide how the country runs and continues. So they're supposed to work for us, not a particular supreme leader. That's like, that would be the case in North Korea or Iran or China even though it's President Xi Jinping, he's really a supreme leader figure, an authoritarian figure. Same with Iran, the supreme leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, and North Korea, supreme leader Kim Jong-un. So I get your point for the most part, though, is that maybe the court should change its name or something. But okay, well, yeah, guys, my phone is actually about to die. This live stream took a lot out of it. I do appreciate you watching the live stream this morning, and would encourage you to please subscribe to the channel so we can continue to build the Awoken together. And thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will hopefully hear from you soon. Much love, everybody. Get after it today. Fight hard.